The signal that changed everything. The galaxy was quiet, stars burning in endless silence. Civilizations traded, argued, and built their empires. But all of that ended when a signal cut through the void. It began as a low pulse, a strange energy, wave that spread faster than light across the outer systems. At first, small outposts thought it was a malfunction. Their machines blinked, their sensors shook, their screens went dark. Then the pulse reached the great capitals. The Galactic Council, gathered in confusion. The Hall of Leaders was filled with nervous voices. Each empire demanded answers. What was this pulse? Who sent it? What did it mean? No one had an answer. The strongest warlords accused their rivals. The merchants feared trade collapse. The smaller species trembled, whispering about old legends of destroyers from the void. The pulse carried more than energy. Hidden within it was a pattern. It was not random, it was deliberate. Someone was speaking to the galaxy, but not with words, with power. Scientists worked day and night. They pulled the data apart. They replayed the wave 1,000,000 times. They found something shocking. The energy signature was human. At first, no one believed it. Humans were known as a quiet race. Their fleets were small, their colonies young. They traded on the edges of galactic space, but never sat in the center of power. Many even mocked them, calling them backward. But now the pulse told another story. A counselor from the Threx Empire slammed his clawed hand on the table. Impossible. Humanity does not have this kind of power, he shouted. Others nodded, in agreement, but a few leaders stayed silent. They had always suspected Earth was hiding something. Reports began to pour in from scouts. A massive ship was moving through deep space. Its size was beyond anything in the records. It was said to block out entire stars as it passed. Whole systems went dark when it entered. That was when the word was whispered for the first time. Titan, the Titan-class warship. A design no one believed humans could build. Some said it was myth. A rumor passed among traders. But now it was real. And it was moving toward neutral space. In the council chambers, fear grew. If this was humanity's first true step onto the galactic stage, then the balance of power was broken. Empires that ruled for thousands of years suddenly looked fragile. If humans had hidden this Titan all along, what else were they hiding? Across the galaxy, ordinary people reacted in their own way. On farming worlds, families looked at the sky and prayed. On trading stations, merchants shut down their businesses, not knowing if war was coming. Soldiers whispered in their barracks, wondering if their weapons were useless now. Back on Earth, the truth was simple. Humanity had watched the galaxy. Humanity had waited. They saw wars, betrayals, slavery. They saw how the council ruled with arrogance. They stayed silent, building, planning, preparing. Now, they were ready. The Titan warship was more than a machine, it was a message. Its armor shone with alloys no alien could copy. Its cannons were larger than city towers. Its shield core pulsed with energy that shook scanners. To see it was to understand. Humanity had not just joined the galaxy. They had arrived as masters of fear. The pulse had not ended. A final burst followed. This time it was clear it was not just energy, it was language. Every translator confirmed the same chilling words. We are here. The council chamber fell into silence. No one dared speak. The galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath. And in the deep dark, the Titan-class warship moved forward. Slowly, unstoppably. The signal had changed everything. The age of silence was over. Humanity had spoken. The council in fear, the Galactic Council chamber had seen wars decided, treaties signed, and empires rise and fall. But never before had it seen fear spread so quickly. The signal still echoed in the minds of every leader. The words, "We are here," were simple, but they carried a weight heavier than any fleet. The message was not just for the council, it was for the galaxy. Counselors sat around the great ringed table. Some hissed, some whispered, some shouted. Each word collided like weapons. "It must be a bluff," said the Varic delegate, his scales rattling. "No species can hide a ship of that size without us knowing." Others disagreed, pointing to the broken moons and silent stars left in the Titan's wake. A representative of the core dominion rose from his seat. His voice shook with both fear and anger. If the humans truly built this Titan, then the balance is broken. We will not survive unless we act first. His words were followed by silence. Even his own allies were unwilling to answer because in their hearts they knew the truth. The humans had been underestimated for too long. They were always seen as weak, as new, as outsiders. But in the shadows, they had prepared, and now they had revealed something none could match. The council leader, a pale being with 6 glass-like eyes, spoke slowly. The humans must explain themselves. We cannot allow such a weapon to appear in neutral space without consequence. But even as he spoke, his hands trembled. He remembered history. He remembered how quickly humanity adapted in the past. If they had built this Titan, then there was no limit to what they could do next. Behind closed doors, the empires argued. Some wanted to send fleets to surround the warship. Others warned this would provoke destruction. Smaller species begged for peace, afraid their worlds would be the first to burn. Spies delivered secret reports. The Titan's size was confirmed. Larger than any ship recorded in galactic history. Entire mining colonies could fit inside its hull. The energy output was not just offensive, it could power weapons strong enough to shatter planets. The galaxy trembled not from attack, but from the silence of humanity. The Titan had not fired. It had not destroyed. It had only appeared. And yet, that was enough to throw every empire into chaos. On distant worlds, propaganda machines began to stir. Some rulers told their people, "Do not fear, the humans are weak." Others told them, "Pray, for a storm is coming." Soldiers trained harder, but their commanders wondered if training even mattered anymore. In the council hall, one young ambassador from a minor race dared to speak. Perhaps the humans do not seek war. Perhaps this Titan is their warning, not their attack. The chamber erupted in laughter from the larger powers. A warning, one general sneered. A ship that can erase us all is not a warning. It is a leash. But deep inside, even he knew the truth. The humans had not attacked. They had not demanded surrender. They had only said, "We are here." That silence was louder than any cannon. The council called for a vote. Should they confront the humans? Should they negotiate, or should they prepare for war? The results were fractured. Half the empires wanted talks, half wanted weapons ready. The decision was no decision, and that left everyone more afraid. Meanwhile, the Titan moved closer. Neutral space was no longer neutral. Every scanner locked onto its massive shape. Every broadcast showed its shadow eclipsing suns, civilian ships scattered like frightened birds. Its silence felt like judgment. In secret meetings, old enemies became allies. The Veyric and the Threx, rivals for centuries, met in the dark and whispered about striking first. But even as they planned, they trembled. No one wanted to be the one to test the Titan's patience. The smaller races watched the great powers argue and understood something. The humans had not just built a ship. They had built fear itself. The council could no longer speak with one voice. The galaxy itself was divided. Back on Earth, humanity watched quietly. They knew the galaxy was panicking. They had expected it. That was why they revealed the Titan, not as a weapon of war, but as proof. Humanity was no longer a minor power. They would not beg for a seat at the table. They would bring their own. In the council chamber, the final words of the session were heavy. The leader whispered them more to himself than to the others. If humanity controls a Titan, then perhaps the galaxy has already changed forever. And far away in the void, the Titan drifted closer. Its engines a low hum. Its lights like the eyes of a beast that could not be caged. The galaxy waited, holding its breath, not knowing if the humans would speak again, or if their silence was the greatest threat of all. The arrival. The first stars dimmed before the Titan arrived. Whole systems seemed to lose their light as the massive shadow emerged from hyperspace. To the people of nearby colonies, it was as if a new world had appeared in their skies. A world made of steel and fire. The Titan was not like any known ship. Most warships carried scars, battle marks, and patched armor. But this vessel looked untouched. Its surface shone with strange alloys that bent light. Its form was sharp and perfect, designed with a purpose the galaxy could not understand. On the great trading hub of Vena Station, panic erupted. Merchants dropped their goods, ships abandoned their docks, families gathered at viewports, staring as the giant filled the void. Alarms screamed, but they could not hide the truth. Something far greater than alarms had come. The Titan moved slowly, but every movement shook the region. Civilian sensors could not even measure its full length. Some claimed it was the size of a moon. Others said it was larger. To the frightened eyes of ordinary people, it did not matter. It was too big, too powerful, too silent. Broadcasts carried the image across the galaxy. Every world, every empire, every station saw the same thing. The Titan blocking suns, its shadow spreading across planets. The galaxy was united in one emotion: fear. Inside the council chamber, silence returned. No one argued this time. No one laughed. The Titan's image spoke louder than words. Every leader stared, and for once, none pretended to be in control. The first transmissions from civilian ships begged for help. "It is here. It watches us. We cannot escape." These words spread like fire. The more they spread, the more terror grew. Armies rushed to prepare, but their commanders hesitated. What good were their fleets against something like this? On the Titan's bridge, humans stood at their stations, their faces calm, their voices steady. This was not a test for them. This was a step they had long prepared for. To them, the galaxy's panic was expected. They had studied these empires, they knew their fear, they knew their arrogance, and they knew fear was the sharpest weapon of all. The Titan did not fire. It did not threaten. It simply stopped near. The hub. For hours it stayed still as if watching. The silence felt heavier than any bombardment. Aliens whispered that the ship was alive, that it could think and see them. A group of smaller empires sent a plea to the council. We must speak to them. We must know their purpose. But the larger empires argued, no. If we speak, we show weakness. If we bend now, we bend forever. But even as they said the words, they dared not send ships forward. Finally, a brave or desperate fleet of mercenaries tried. They approached in formation, hundreds of smaller ships buzzing like insects around the Titan's hull. They shouted on open comms, "Identify yourselves, leave this space or we will open fire." Their voices shook. The Titan did not answer. It did not move. But its hull lights flickered once like an eye-opening. The mercenary ships froze. Their captains argued, should they fire? Should they retreat? The galaxy watched through countless broadcasts, every eye focused on the standoff. Then, without warning, the Titan released a sound, a single low hum that carried across space. It was not a weapon, but it felt like one. Systems shut down. Weapons failed. Ships spun out of control. The mercenary fleet drifted powerless, and the Titan remained untouched. The message was clear. No fleet could challenge it. No weapon could harm it. The galaxy had seen proof. Humanity did not need to fire a single shot. Their silence and their presence were enough. Back on Earth, leaders monitored the moment. They knew the council would soon try to talk. They knew fear had reached every empire. Humanity had waited in the shadows for centuries. Now the shadows were gone. Now they stood in the light, on the hub world beneath the Titan. People gathered outside. Children pointed. Elders prayed. Soldiers stood at their posts but did not move. No one dared aim their weapons upward. Every heart beat with the same question. What do the humans want? And across the stars in the council chamber, the question was finally spoken aloud. If this is humanity's first step into the galaxy, then what is their second? The Titan gave no answer. It only hung there, blocking out the suns, silent and eternal. The galaxy felt smaller, weaker, and in that silence, every empire knew. The age of their rule was ending. A new power had arrived. The message of steel for 3 long days. The Titan remained silent. The galaxy waited. terrified. Every broadcast, every screen, every radio spoke of nothing else. The question burned into every mind. What do the humans want? Then the silence broke. A voice came across the stars. It was deep, steady, calm. It was translated into every language at once. We are not here for war. We are here for truth. The words were simple, but the power behind them was impossible to ignore. The council chambers erupted. Some leaders cheered in relief. Others sneered in suspicion. "It is a trick," growled the Dominion general. "No one builds a Titan for peace." But his voice trembled, his claws dug into the table. He spoke bravely, but his eyes betrayed fear. On trading stations, families wept. To them, the voice was not just a warning, it was a promise. They had lived under the council's rule for centuries, under taxes, under wars, under chains. And now a new power had spoken, a power that did not beg, but declared. The Titan's message continued. "We have watched. We have waited. You know us as weak, you know us as quiet. That ends today. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity does not hide. We have come to take our place." The words shook the galaxy. No empire had ever spoken like this. Even the strongest rulers gave long speeches filled with pride and threats. But humanity's message was short, sharp, final. It was not a request. It was a statement. On the Titan's bridge, the crew sat calm. They had trained for this moment for generations. Every word was planned. Every pause was calculated. They knew the galaxy was listening. They knew fear was the weapon sharper than any cannon. The council called an emergency session. The leaders argued again. Some demanded to open peace talks. Others demanded the Titan be destroyed at once. But none moved their fleets. None dared risk the first strike. One counselor whispered what many feared. If they built this Titan in silence, what else have they built? What else do they hide? No one answered. The thought was poison. But it spread. The Titan's lights pulsed once. Its cannons rotated slowly, not firing, only moving. It was enough. Civilian ships screamed in panic and fled. Armies raised shields around their worlds. The warship did not attack, but every gesture carried meaning. It was a reminder. This is what we can do, and we choose not to. On remote colonies, rebels and dissidents began to speak. Do you see? The humans speak for us all. Their voices spread, carried by the Titan's image. For the first time in centuries, the Council's rule was questioned by those it claimed to protect. The message spread further. Humanity's declaration was replayed 1 billion times. Children whispered. Its soldiers repeated it in their barracks. We are here for truth. Humanity does not kneel. The words became fire in the hearts of the oppressed, but among the great empires, the fire was fear. If they do not kneel, then they mean for us to kneel, said one emperor. His words were echoed across his halls. His generals prepared, but deep inside they knew it was too late. Humanity had already changed the game. The Titan's weapons glowed faintly again, just a flicker. But it was enough to silence every debate. That light was a reminder. The ship had not yet spoken its final word. The council leader finally broke his own silence. We must answer. If we ignore this, then the galaxy itself will turn to them. His voice cracked, but his order was clear. They would prepare a reply, not of war, but of negotiation. Even the proudest rulers now feared open battle, and still, the Titan waited. Its message lingered in the void. We are here. It was more than a warning, more than a speech. It was steel given voice. It was a promise carved into the stars, across the galaxy. People no longer looked to the council for strength. They looked to the humans. They looked to the Titan, and in that moment every empire felt their grip weaken. For the first time in history, the galaxy knew. Humanity did not arrive asking for a place. Humanity had arrived to take one, and the Titan-class warship was the proof that no one could deny. Testing the galaxy. The Titan's silence had become unbearable. The galaxy could not live under a shadow forever. Some empires whispered of peace. Others spoke of surrender. But a few chose another path. They wanted to test humanity. It began. With the Yurok Combine, their fleets were known for speed. They believed no warship, no matter how large, could track them. A squadron of 60 ships left their docks and sped toward the Titan. "We will prove this human machine is not invincible," their commander said. His voice carried across open channels meant for all to hear. The galaxy watched. Millions tuned in. Screens on every world showed the daring attack. The Yurok ships darted forward, weaving like hunters. They fired their first volley, beams of red light cutting across the void. The weapons struck the Titan's shields. Nothing happened. The massive warship did not shake, did not even flicker. The beams vanished against its shimmering defenses. The Titan remained still, like a mountain facing a storm. The Yurok tried again. Missiles this time. Their weapons carried enough power to level cities. The missiles flew fast, but as they neared the Titan, its hull lit up. A pulse of blue energy. Spread outward, the missiles turned to dust before they touched the ship. The galaxy gasped. Never before had they seen such technology. A shield that did not block but erased. It was not defense. It was denial. The Titan finally moved. Slowly, deliberately, one cannon glowed. Its tip aimed not at the Yurok fleet, but at a nearby moon. A single bolt of white fire erupted. The moon cracked in half, its pieces drifting apart like broken glass. The Yurok fleet froze. Their commanders screamed for retreat, but it was too late. The message was already clear. Humanity had shown what a single shot could do, and it had not been aimed at them. It was a warning. All across the galaxy, fear turned to silence. The Titan could have destroyed the fleet in seconds, but instead, it chose restraint. That restraint was more terrifying than destruction. It showed control. It showed confidence. It showed humanity did not need to prove itself further. In the council chambers, panic grew. "They destroyed a moon with one shot," a delegate cried. "If they ever turn that power on our worlds..." He stopped, unable to finish. Everyone knew what he meant. Some empires began to move quietly, sending secret messages to Earth. They offered friendship, they offered trade. They begged to be allies before it was too late. Others dug deeper into fear, building new fleets, training new armies. But in their hearts they knew, no army could stand against a Titan on small colonies. Ordinary people whispered with hope. "The humans are not like the Council. They are different. They did not kill the fleet. They gave them a chance." To the oppressed, this was not terror. It was promise. A chance for change. A chance for freedom. The Titan continued to drift. Its weapons quiet again, its lights dim, as if the great beast had gone back to sleep. But no one believed it was asleep. Everyone knew it was watching, waiting. The Yurok Combine became the first lesson. Their commander returned broken. His fleet, scarred, his voice shook as he delivered his report. "We could not even touch them," he admitted. His empire fell silent, ashamed and afraid. Across the galaxy, new plans formed. Some leaders decided to wait, hoping humanity would make a mistake. Others thought about forming coalitions, but every idea began with fear. Fear of the Titan, fear of the humans who built it. Back on Earth, humanity watched carefully. They had not revealed their full strength. The Titan was only the beginning. In hidden docks, other ships slept, not as large, not as powerful, but deadly. In their own ways, the Titan was the message, the others were the teeth. Humanity had tested the galaxy as much as the galaxy had tested them, and the results were clear. No empire dared call them weak anymore. No leader dared laugh at their name. Humanity had stepped onto the galactic stage, and the stage had shaken. The Titan's shadow stretched across worlds, across hearts, across history itself. And now, with the test complete, everyone knew humanity was not just here. They were here to stay. The choice. The galaxy was no longer the same. The test had been made. The Titan had spoken without words. A moon shattered, a fleet humbled, and yet humanity still did not strike. That silence weighed heavier than war. The council called its largest gathering in centuries. Every seat was filled. Delegates from empires, kingdoms, and alliances sat trembling. For the first time, Enemies sat beside each other without insults. All were united by one fear. The Titan, the leader of the council, raised his glass-like eyes. His voice cracked as he spoke. "We cannot delay. The humans have forced us to choose. Will we stand with them or will we fall against them?" Arguments exploded. Some shouted for peace. They saw the Titan not as a weapon, but as a chance. If humanity had such power and still chose restraint, then perhaps they truly wanted order, not chaos. Others roared for war. They claimed humanity would enslave them all. They claimed the Titan was the first chain, not the last. In the chambers of the Varic Empire, generals plotted. "We must strike now," one hissed. "Every day we wait, humanity grows stronger." But their emperor shook his head. He had seen the moon split in half. He whispered to his council, "No army can win against such power, not now, not ever." Across smaller colonies, ordinary people prayed for peace. Some even celebrated. For them, the Titan was hope. For generations they had lived under the boot of greater empires. To see those same rulers tremble before humanity filled them with joy. Maybe, just maybe, the humans would break the chains of the council. Back on Earth, the leaders knew what they had done. They had forced the galaxy into a corner. They gave them only two paths, peace or silence. Both were victories for humanity. The Titan sent a new message, its voice steady, cold. "We offer peace, we offer alliance, but know this, humanity will not kneel. We will not be ruled. We will not be silenced." The words burned across the stars. Some leaders slammed their fists in anger. Some bowed their heads in defeat. No one could ignore the truth. Humanity was no longer asking. They were declaring. The council prepared a vote. Each empire had one choice to make: join humanity in peace or resist and face the Titan. In the hours before the vote, secret deals were made. Old enemies promised to stand together, not against humans, but with them. Others sent hidden fleets into deep space, hoping to ambush the Titan later. The galaxy was splitting apart and humanity was the blade. On the Titan's bridge, the crew watched calmly. They expected betrayal. They expected fear. But they also expected surrender. For centuries they had studied the galaxy. They knew its weakness, they knew its pride, and they knew the moment had come. When the vote began, the chamber was silent. One by one voices declared their choice. Some shouted peace, their voices shaking. Others whispered resist, but their eyes betrayed doubt. In the end, the galaxy stood divided, half bent to humanity's offer, half refused. The council itself broke apart. Its once great unity now shattered. The council leader looked out over the chaos, his hands trembling. "Then the choice has been made," he said. "The age of the council ends tonight." His words echoed like a death bell. The Titan responded not with fire but with presence. Its lights flared, its cannons rotated, its shields glowed. It was not attack, it was warning. Humanity would not beg again, humanity would not wait. Across the stars, the people understood something their rulers did not. The choice was not truly theirs. The choice had already been taken. Humanity had forced the galaxy to choose, but whichever path they chose, humanity would rise. Humanity would lead. The Titan remained, silent but unshakable. Its shadow stretched across systems. Its voice burned in memory. "We will not kneel." The galaxy had made its choice, and now it would live with the consequences. The galaxy holds its breath. The council chamber was no longer a hall of power. It was a battlefield of silence. Half the empires had chosen peace, half had chosen resistance. But none could escape the shadow of the Titan. Broadcasts from the Warship filled every screen across the galaxy. On colonies and palaces and markets and hidden rebel caves, all eyes watched. Humanity did not send armies. They sent only their ship, and yet it felt heavier than any fleet. The Titan loomed in orbit above the hub world, its size eclipsing suns, its hull glowing faintly with energy. To those below it was as if a god had descended. No words could describe its presence. Then the humans appeared. For the first time in history, human ambassadors stepped into the council hall. Their boots echoed on the marble floor. their uniforms black, marked with the silver crest of Earth. They walked without fear, without hesitation. Behind them, the shadow of the Titan glowed on every screen. The council's leader tried to stand tall. His glass-like eyes shook, his voice weak. "Humanity, you come before us with power. What do you seek?" The human commander spoke, his voice steady as stone. "We do not seek permission. We do not seek mercy. We seek truth. We seek respect. We seek our rightful place." The chamber erupted. Some shouted in anger, others fell silent, but none could look the humans in the eye. None could ignore the Titan glowing behind them. The human continued. "We offer peace. To those who join us, you will share in strength. You will share in freedom. To those who resist, know this. The silence you feared will become your reality." His words echoed like thunder. Across the galaxy, people listened. On oppressed worlds, they cheered. For the first time in centuries, they saw hope. On mighty capitals, rulers clenched, their fists, their pride breaking under the weight of reality. They had ruled for thousands of years, but tonight humanity ruled the moment. The council leader tried to speak again, but his words were swallowed by fear. Around him, other delegates whispered, some already begging for alliance, others hiding their despair. The hall had once been the center of power. Now it was only a place of surrender. The Titan outside flared. Its cannons rotated slowly, not firing, only reminding. The image broadcast across the galaxy was clear. Humanity did not need to strike. Their presence was enough. Then came the final words. The human commander raised his hand. His voice carried across every star. "We are here to stay." The chamber froze. The galaxy froze. Not a single word answered. Not a single ship dared move. For the first time, the galaxy held its breath. On distant worlds, people whispered those same words. "We are here to stay." The phrase spread faster than any army. It became fire in the hearts of billions. It became a promise that no one could extinguish. The council's banners fell in silence. No one ordered it. No one planned it. But the sight of the Titan made them meaningless. Power had shifted. History had turned. Humanity had written its mark in steel. On Earth, celebrations erupted. They had waited for this day. They had hidden in the shadows for generations. Now the shadows were gone. Now the stars belonged to them. The Titan-class warship drifted quietly. Its engines a low hum, its light steady. It had not destroyed. It had not conquered. It had only arrived, and by arriving, it had changed everything. The galaxy did not cheer. The galaxy did not resist. The galaxy simply waited for what would come next, for humanity's next step, for the future that could not be undone. In the silence that followed, one truth was clear. The age of the council was over. The age of humanity had begun.